Food for Thought with Professor David Ndete.
Welcome to another episode of Food for Thought with Professor Ndete. Last week, we began a series talking about dissociative identity disorder, finding out what it is, how it manifests, and what you need to know about it. So we didn't quite finish. We actually just did an introduction of the subject. Let's pick it up from where we left it off last week.
The other conditions that are also dissociative disorder, as I said, we can only group them, and then if we have time, we can go into the details of each one of them, but we are making broad categorizations, knowing very well, even in one broad categorization, there are numerous variations and shades of that condition.
Yes.
There's a condition, again, a kind of dissociative disorder, where a person now, this time, is not you observing me, it's me feeling about myself.
Oh.
Okay?
Yeah.
You see, personality disorders is a change in the personality disorders, more than one personality disorder. It is you observing me, saying, this is so-and-so, this cannot be so-and-so.
This cannot be so-and-so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In depersonalization, it's me feeling about myself.
Yes.
And depersonalization is you know how you feel as an individual. You know yourself. Shall I say, you know yourself. But if you feel like the way I am feeling, that's not me, then that's a kind of depersonalization.
Oh.
Yes. And the people will come and tell you, something is really happening about me. The way I feel is not myself. I'm feeling like there's somebody inside me who is not me.
Oh.
That's not me. And I'm not.
You know why I'm laughing?
Why?
Because when somebody says that, thinking from a pastoral point of view,
Yes.
the most likely conclusion to come with is you're possessed.
Yeah, we will come to that. Out your breaks. We are coming to that. We are coming. Yeah. So it's me saying that's not me. The way I'm feeling, I'm very different. It's not me. It's like I have been possessed by somebody else who is not me. That's purely a psychological condition. We will come to the religious and cultural aspects of it. Then related to that is derealization.
Derealization.
Yes.
Which one is that one?
Depersonalization is me feeling something is
not
changed.
right. Yeah.
That's not me.
Yes.
Derealization is like me sitting in this office, which I have been sitting here for a long time.
Yes.
Or meeting you, and then this environment of mine is not my familiar environment. I'm in a strange place. Yeah. So depersonalization is self.
Yeah.
Derealization is external.
It's external.
You have no problem in realizing or coming or agreeing that I am my usual self, but this is not my office.
Oh.
Yeah, this looks very strange. It's not me. It's like, or it may even take the form of where I am. I look like a place that I saw some time back. It's like I take a trip from the current to something that I saw in an environment in which I was some time back. But whatever it is, whatever form, whether it is your usual environment or you think that you are in a different environment, it's all the realization. Okay? So if that happens, and again, we see it also not necessarily not necessarily in psychological medicine, but also in other situations that are not necessarily psychological. And I'll give you examples. Another one which is very common, and we still see it, and not as commonly as we used to see, is dissociative fugue. Fugue spelled F-U-G-U-E.
Dissociative fugue.
Yes, I'll explain what it means. Dissociative fugue is when you get involved in very complicated behavior, usually movement, and you can walk from Mombasa to Nairobi. So when you see some people walk,
Anaenda too.
Anaenda. So you can see, when you see people, say if you drive along beyond Mutito Ande, the national park, and you just find somebody walking, well, it could be a problem. And in fugue state, you can move from one place to another. And let's take an example, because you have seen cases. Moving from Kisumu to Nairobi, Nyeri to Mombasa to Nairobi, Mombasa to Nairobi, or the other way around.
Yes.
And somebody makes these trips. And when he reaches, say, Nairobi, he wonders, how on
you got
earth
there?
did I get here?
He has no recollection of walking that long distance.
No.
What?
Yes, it happens. It happens. And me, I've seen several cases here. And the reason why I think I'm seeing several cases here is because, and I'm sure other people are seeing similar cases, is because now we understand that a dissociative fugue state is not necessarily as a result of a psychological problem.
Oh.
Yes, it can occur in the context of depression. In fact, that is the commonest. But it can also occur in the context of other conditions that are not necessarily psychological. It can occur in a condition we call temporal lobe epilepsy, which is a physical condition. It can occur in the context of disturbed state of the mind.
Yeah.
And where disturbed state of the mind is not necessarily psychological, but because there is some kind of injury. It can be chemical, it can be brain damage, it can be many things. So you see, now we understand dissociative fugue state in a more, we understand what could be happening beyond what we are saying. Another common, which used to be a dissociative state, but which we don't talk about, and we will go into the details on that, is hysteria.
Hysteria.
And people have talked about hysteria. People are talking about you are behaving hysterical and things like that. We thought that hysteria was only as a result of some kind of stress. And some of the hysterical things, is hysterical behavior in quotes, because it's a term we don't like these days, can be extremely dramatic.
Yeah.
And dramatic in the sense that people can also appear to be losing consciousness. Yeah. In hysteria. Can appear as if they are losing a level of consciousness, and unless unless you have experience in these things, you can very easily miss them, and you can even confuse them with other things. Like somebody with the hysterical fits, as we used to call it those days. We call it conversion, and I'll tell you why we call it conversion, by my using the hysteria deliberately to show you that what we thought was happening is not necessarily what was happening. A child with strengths occur very more commonly in children or even in adults. A child who has got very severe anxiety, maybe school-related, maybe home-related, maybe relations with the people, will come to the office and appear to be having fits.
Oh.
They do fits like this. And you can easily think that it is an epileptic. It's not epileptic fit. It's not that there is damage in the brain of some sort. It's just a way that a certain condition, anxiety, can present in particular cases. And this child, if you observe them, there are certain things that you are going to notice within a very short time. For example, if you talk to the relative, if you talk to the mother, or somebody who knows you, or knows the child very well, or knows the individual very well, they will tell you, these fits only occur when there are people who are watching.
When there's no one watching, there are no fits.
No.
So are they real or are they?
Well, they are, you can see. You can see with your own eyes. Like this. Or you can see the eyes and they can continue for a long time. And under normal circumstances, if you have a condition, under normal circumstances, or people tell you, you had fits. Many people who had real fits, they will tell you, really? Did I really have those fits?
Yes.
They are concerned about the fact that they have this condition, and something needs to be done about it. Whereas in a hysterical fit, they kind of enjoy it, as it were.
Oh.
They are not concerned that they have a condition. In fact, the French called it belle indifference. I can't pronounce these are French words.
Belle indifference.
Indifference. If there's a French-speaking person, excuse me. But basically, what it means is that I am indifferent to what is happening.
Oh.
Yeah, I am indifferent. In fact, for them, there's a secondary gain. And the secondary gain is that when they have these fits, which they are not concerned about, they don't mind having them, and they always have them in the presence of people. Then the people who care, they rally to that child and give that child all the attention that child needs. You see what I mean?
Yes.
In other words, there's a secondary gain. And therefore, they will not have these fits, hysterical fits, when nobody's there.
Nobody's there.
And
so the secondary gain will not come.
The secondary gain will not come.
Yeah.
And of course, the mothers have seen it here. When a child has hysterical fits, even in my office, what about the mothers? What about the sisters? Oh, my son is going to die. And while they themselves are very worried about it, the child is enjoying it.
Enjoying the attention.
He's enjoying the attention. And it can occur in even in adults. This is very exciting. I remember, the way people love football.
Yeah.
It's not here, it's all over the world. And in the hostel where I was training, there was this gentleman who had hysterical fits. And you get them when the nurses were around.
Oh, only when the nurses were around?
Yeah, they tend to occur when somebody's, So, and they appear like they are losing consciousness. So the nurses had no choice but to call the doctor. Okay. And the doctor came and obliged to come. And it's not like those days we didn't have very many tons of telephones, so we are called you went. So he came and we got description of this. And this patient, as this description, as the nurses were describing, the patient was listening. So the doctor said, this is hysterical fit. Next time it happens, please don't bother me. I'm busy watching this hysterical fit. So as soon as the doctor went, the patient got up, said, Why did you tell the doctor all those details? Yeah, you are trying to accuse me for nothing. So it goes on and on.
Thank you so much for watching. Unfortunately, our time is up. How time flies when you're having a good time. Well, we have to end it there, but we'll pick up this conversation again next week as we wrap it up. If you have any comments concerning the topics we are covering, any feedback, if these conversations are beneficial to you, please let us know by texting in on our SMS line 20316 or our WhatsApp number 0786 316 316. Until next time, have a good day and God bless you.
Food for Thought with Professor David Bitte.